All right, Shalom. Kolo Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakodash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do teach and rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the house of David, the hopeful elect. You Akim out there pushing his word in truth and sincerity. To those of you liking unto the speckled birds gathered to the four corners, speaking in different tongues, unto you we say Shalom. All right, as the title reads, the dollar is falling against everything. All right. And I have this article here from Bloomberg, and it's basically getting into how the dollar is falling once again, basically ahead of the U.S. Jobs data report that's going to come out. All right. And I believe it actually already came out. All right. So we'll just get it, and tie it in with prophecy because, again, ultimately, with inflation going on, all right, and I have this other article going into that further, all right. This just came out 2 days ago, and they're basically going into the variance, but really it's due to inflation and the supply chain, man, all right, and everything going on with ultimately the collapse of America. But the next thing ultimately is tying in, that you have gold, silver, you have crypto, and really that's going to lead to that chip, man. All right, it's gonna, you have what they call the digital dollar that they have been discussing, for some months now. All right, so this is all tying in with prophecy, and ultimately, it makes sense why, they're pushing this stronger vibration of the dollar falling against everything, and the U.S. jobs market data and all of that, because you also have the financial stimulus money that the government has been giving out since the pandemic started. Now it's stopped. Okay, so I believe it actually stops this week. So this week, from here moving forward, you have all of those millions of Jakes who are just collecting a paycheck. All right, and now they're gonna be forced to take that jab or not have no job, man. All right. And without no payout from the government, what are you going to do? All right. That's going to lead to more lawlessness. All right. As we are aware, I believe it's the state of Oregon. They decriminalized a lot of drugs. All right. San Francisco, they actually have a law in place where you can steal up to $1,000 worth of goods from a store. And if the store tries to stop you, then you can actually sue the store, man. All right, so this is kind of all tying in with just the financial collapse, all right, or deterioration of Babylon the Great, man. All right, so we'll just get the main point in here. All right, um, here we go. A strong U.S. employment report could increase the chance that the Federal Reserve, will kick off tapering as soon as next month, basically going into the financial aspect of um, maintaining, the recovery of the economy. All right. That's what the Fed does, man. They control the dollar. All right. They basically, decide what the best course of action is, whether that's to increase interest rates, to give more money out, things of that nature. All right. So growth in U.S. payrolls probably slowed in August after increasing by the most in almost a year the previous month. All right. So you had basically more people going back to work in around that July period. All right. But then in August, they're saying that it slowed down. All right. And ultimately, what you see here is a index chart. If any of you are familiar with Forex, you see the candlestick patterns, and basically candlestick patterns help to tell ultimately, where the market is heading. Okay. And as it reads, the dollar slips below upward trend line support amid bearish momentum. So since May, we've had this kind of, not we, but Esau has had this kind of slow increase. All right. Though you see the candlesticks, showing, this uphill battle, if you will. All right. Nonetheless, you see this trend that's now establishing again, man, which is a bearish, meaning, bullish is to push forward, bearish to slow down, man. All right. And ultimately, with this jobs report, all right, as you see here, here's another article, and I have it as well. gold gains after U.S. jobs data comes in well below estimates. So they were expecting that the jobs report would be much better. All right. They were expecting that things would kind of slowly return back to normal with everything that they have done, with Biden pushing all these new laws to revitalize the economy and trillions of dollars of new spending bills. And I believe he had a new one, the infrastructure bill, to basically try to, try to build this place back up, man. All right, these charts show which states will get the most money from Biden's infrastructure bill. All right, Biden uses deadly New York City flooding to push 1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. All right, and basically, this goes into not only just infrastructure itself, but also jobs. All right, job planning, restoring the lands, restoring forests, restoring, basically trying to get this place back to what it was, man. And it's not going to happen. All right. And, ultimately with this all tying in, before I get the shipping delays and the inflation of, because we're heading into this holiday season, if you will. All right. And, ultimately we understand that people aren't going to be able to afford what they have in years past. All right. And don't be surprised, if you see an increase in crime, as has been seen already all throughout the summer. All right. And really over the past 18 months since this thing started. All right. But then you also have the incorporation of gold and cryptocurrency continuing to jump and rise as the dollar, bonds, and stocks dump after big jobs miss. All right. So basically, with school getting back in session, all right, with, this is a certain season, if you will, that Esau looks towards between that August and September jobs report, because now, again, school is getting back in motion. You have the holidays coming up. So this is like a big indicator on how the last few months is going to look. All right. And ultimately, with this jobs report having such a big miss, all right, and tying that in again with inflation, tying that in with, this so-called holiday season that Esau's, has been trying to pump money into the economy so that way people can spend and things could go back to normal. It's done for, man. All right, it's done for. It's like pumping steroids, into yourself, and you already have max muscles, man. Not max muscles, but like you already have veins popping out of your flesh, man. All right, that's how much has been pumped into this place. All right. The dismally disappointing payrolls print has prompted some serious knee-jerk moves in the market. Time to recalibrate algorithms to bad news is great news again. All right. Gold spiked. Again, more spending to save the world? Of course not, man. All right. Because there are big companies. Let me see if I can remember. BlackRock buys 100 million in gold, I believe. Is that the one that I'm looking for? It's a software company. I had just Palantir, Salakia. Here it is. So this is an actual software company. Let me see if I could get rid of this. And of course I can't. Okay. Salakia, just bear with me. Buys gold. Okay. Is this the newest one? August 17th. Yes. So this is actually more than 50 million. All right. They actually bought around 51 million, but nonetheless, they bought $50 million worth of gold bars in August. All right. Now this is a software company, man. All right. So this clearly shows two things. All right. First off, is a software company. So why are they buying that much gold? Well, if you know anything about Palantir, they do a lot of work for the government, man, with, Esau's intelligence agencies gathering data. All right. Basically helping to crunch data and work. They kind of work like a private NSA. The NSA, they can gather all types of data about you and you wouldn't know all the data they have, man. Well, that's kind of how Palantir is. And they've been working with the government for some time, so it makes sense why, even though they're a software maker and you might scratch your head and wonder why, ultimately it makes sense because they're part of this system. Okay. So when you're looking at certain things, all right, in these companies and what they're doing, Okay, you have to even take into consideration their position. All right, for instance, the same way you have Walmart. All right, when Walmart was selling all those stores a few years back, and now ultimately, if you go to those locations, as we are aware of, we know that those are going to be those camps, man. All right, or those are going to be detainment centers, if you will, that ultimately help transfer. When all hell breaks loose, and you know what? Through the Spirit was so beautiful. They were actually using that for immigrants. All right, Walmart detention center immigrants. Let me see if it still pops up, Lord's will. Uh, a look inside the Walmart turned immigration detention center. And this is in Texas. This was 2018, but there was a new one. I can't remember where it's at. Let me see if I could get news, if it shows up. Oh, here we go. 2021. All right. So they're taking them from the border and sending them to Walmart, man. All right. Let me see here. Just get the point if I can real quick. Da, 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 da. By March 20th, the U.S. government was housing about 15,000 unaccompanied migrant minors, including 5,000 teenagers and children housed in Border Patrol facilities not designed for long-term stay. So basically, they're rounding up so much people that they don't have ultimately any more space. All right. So then, after the boys arrived, the temporary family made a rally run to a supermarket to pick up clothes and shoes. Hold on, let me get the point here. Border crisis. I just need the point of them using the Walmart as the center, because again, it's been going on since 2018. But I want to get just the point of this new one, and I don't think this is the one I'm looking for either. All right, Salakia. Either way, they've been doing this since 2018, man. All right, so you have it there. All right, and this is not, again. There was a newer article. Unfortunately, I can't find it, but there was a new article going into how Walmart is still being used. All right, as these detention centers, man. All right, and then again, you got software companies that are tied in with the system buying up gold. All right, and that's because they know, man. All right, gold and crypto. All right, they kind of work one and the same, if you will, man. All right, stocks chopped initially and then dumped. All right, meaning that ultimately there was a very great dip. All right. This is going into treasury yields, just going into basically the treasury's financial, holdings, if you will. And again, at the end of the day, man, those, even when you look at data like this, man, all right, because again, you have to understand that this is, a tool and mechanism of the elites, controlling the markets, doing all that, especially when you look at the U.S., when you look at anything U.S. related, man, this country is so deep in a hole in debt on a financial aspect that seeing anything that's going up is short lived, man. All right, it doesn't even hold any significance. All right, they're even saying aluminum prices. All right, they hit fresh decade high as China pledges more support for alien economy. All right, so even there, ultimately, China and these other countries, even there, slowly resorting to that transition, which is ultimately going to lead to that chip as well. All right, you actually have, China has already been using the digital yuan. All right, China's e-yuan trial may to expand to bank sales of financial products. Chinese banks seek new applications for the digital yuan in investment. You see, and this is tying in with that cryptocurrency. All right, this is tying in with ultimately, as it is known, the Internet of Things, tying everything in together under that one system. All right, and then from there, as Esau continues to finalize, the technology of his chip, because he already has it, but now he's fine tuning, getting those miracles done, man. All right, we already have brought out articles, about how they have, small implants that could go and help people type with their brain by just thinking. Okay, you have some that are able to restore hearing. All right, I believe there was another one that was going into assisting those with Alzheimer's as well. So now it's just bringing all of that together into one, device, being that RFID, man. All right. Again, gold gains. Let me see if I can actually grab um, this. Now, you know what? I'll just wait. Uh, let's go ahead and transfer over. Okay, this is the last article I wanted to grab. Because again, the main thing that has to happen, for if you think about it, the timeline of prophecy is that the economy has to collapse, man. All right, what the scripture says, because of great tribulation, all right, and lack of bread. All right, and we can just get it. All right, second Esdras. Is this the one I want? Yeah. All right, second Esdras chapter 15, verse I can start at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, and why? What does it say? For many great miseries shall be done to them that dwell in the earth, because they have walked in great pride, roughly paraphrasing. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. The point: a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of what? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, so we understand ultimately that part of the full escalation of Jacob's trouble, if you will, all right, has to start with the collapse of this economy, man. All right. And Lord's will, we'll see that over the next few months, man. All right. We have massive shipping delays that are going on. All right, as you see in this article alone, supply chains and material shortages. All right, you had Dabu 77 just did a video the other day going into how Los Angeles has one of the busiest ports for America, and they're backed up roughly about a year in shipments, man. All right, he even made mention that he's still waiting for something that he ordered a year ago. All right, so that's only going to continue. That's only going to get worse. All right, as they mandate these jabs, okay, as they make ultimately, your return, to normality will be accepting the unrighteous decrees. All right, and then that'll continue to escalate as it already has done, over the past, really all this year, man. All this year has been a financial roller coaster. All right, and only in the summertime did you see a bump. All right, and really that's because people were taking trips. All right, people were, even if they didn't leave the country, they were visiting other places. So of course, it would make sense that May, June, July, and August, you saw that increase in the financial aspect of the economy. All right, you had people spending money, going out trying to enjoy themselves. They got their little jab, so now they could go to the Disney World or whatever the case is. All right, but now it's back to normal. See, returning of school. Now you got to get ready for the holidays. Now it's back to business. You're not in vacation no more. So what are you going to do? And that's why you have this jobs report that's such a big deal for Esau, because it's showing, listen, things ain't going back to how they were at all. Okay. Um, let me grab second Esdras. I believe it's 8 and 50. All right, because that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, second Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in their latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. All right, and it goes on to say, but understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. All right, so we're seeking out the glory, for the elect, man. All right, for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, first and foremost. All right, but seek out the glory for such as be like thee. All right, our fellow brethren. All right, for unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. All right, and that's our hope, man. All right, so as this time continues to draw near, it would make sense. Remember, I believe it was during Passover speaking, with the elder of the Buffalo camp, and we were talking about how much time we had here, and he said, we probably have, a couple more years, and it makes sense why, we would have, another year in this place, because, the economy hasn't collapsed yet. We're seeing examples of lack of bread, but not, to the fullness of as scripture says, so now we're kind of getting the ball rolling, if you will, in the sense of the last few prophecies. And this already been going on, but again, the fullness of its execution, because now we're seeing ultimately this dollar is about to collapse. All right. You see everybody going to cryptocurrency, investing in gold, software companies even buying gold bars in the millions of dollars. Okay. So now, we understand that that's one of the main things that's going to, escalate that great tribulation, escalate, that lack of bread and that famine. All right. So all of these things being tied together with the jab. Okay. You have them now saying, um, you have them now saying, let me see if it pops up with just these keywords. Yep. So now there's a oral basically supplement that you would take. Let me see if I can get the key point. They basically said that you would take this, um, even if you're jabbed, you would take this as well because it would help, further, uh, you know, not make you sick. All right. Here we go. Twice a day. Yes. Okay. So here, yep, here it is. So this goes into detail. Could there be a daily blank pill? What we know about the Pfizer drug trial. So basically, now, you have this instance going on with it, which through the spirit, this is just, another way to give Esau a little bit more time. He's just dragging this thing out. All right. Because again, like I made mention, we've gone into, the previous lessons. Um, Here we go. Brain implant helps man speak. All right, speak through a computer. So now, he has to, now he's fine tuning, ultimately these technologies, and then Elon Musk, with that implant, now he's in the final stages of fine tuning this with that RFID chip. All right, so that's really why you have these examples of them talking about, oh well, now you're going to need a daily pill to take. Now you're going to need a third booster. Now you're going to need because he's just dragging this thing out, as he meticulously finalizes, ultimately that technology that he already has, he finalizes it down with the full implementation of his system. You see, so yeah, I'm gonna just end it off there. I wanted to grab those real quick, man, because it's beautiful to still see. Again, I remember I did an article on that, I believe, like a month or 2 months ago. And they were talking about, the shipping delays and the economy wasn't doing good. But then, as we just saw a few articles ago, they were saying that the economy was kind of in an uphill trend, but still showing some, kind of slower movements. So to have that come out again with all of these bills that Biden's trying to pass to pump back into this place with that unemployment or stimulus package, being null and void now, and then with this jobs report showing that things ain't going back to normal. People aren't getting back to work when it's time for school, and you got the holidays approaching. You have shipping delays and inflation at an all-time high, and you have the dollar falling against everything. It's done for, man. All right, this economy is about to collapse, and it's about to be a very, very drastic collapse, man. All right, so I just wanted to grab that through the spirit, man. And like I said, when you see things like this, this is just Esau, using this as a smokescreen, man. So that way he could just finalize, the hardware that he needs, to be fully implemented with his system, man. So Lord's will you was edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone who do teach and rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the house of David, the hopeful elect. You Akim out there, pushing word in truth and sincerity. To those you liken unto the speckled birds, gathered to the four corners, speaking in different tongues. Unto you, and until next time, we